who is the Deputy Chief of Medical Operations and Future Plans for the Bureau of Medicine and Surgery. I must start out by saying that I'm not very knowledgeable about most of the places that the Admiral has been and most of the things that he has done, but I was able to go through a fairly large listing of those administrative and medical and guard and reserve type billets and realize how well traveled he is and how many important billets that he has had. And I'd like to mention a few of them for you. In the first place, I think the thing that he is most proud of is that he's from Murfreesboro. And you know, we gotta acknowledge that. Murfreesboro and Shelbyville are very close locations. I'm from Shelbyville, by the way, in case you didn't know that. And I worked for an Admiral, Frank Kelso from Fayetteville. There is another aviator from Murfreesboro as well, Admiral Jim Taylor. And I also, to give you some idea of my interesting experiences with the Medical Corps, when I was aboard an aircraft carrier, the senior medical officer used to come to the bridge at every opportunity, certainly on payday, and show me his check and say, "You may be the skipper, but I'm getting paid more than you are." So I always felt that was important. In addition to his being from Murfreesboro, he has a daughter who is a senior at MTSU studying pre-med work, and sure to follow his path, I'm sure. His biography is covered with significant billets of both administrative and medical importance, and I'll just cover a few. After receiving both his undergraduate and master's degrees at George Washington University in Washington, D.C., he earned a postmaster fellowship at South Miami Hospital. He was commissioned as a Lieutenant JG in the Medical Service Corps in 1983 and enjoyed several tours with the Naval Reserve through 1988. These assignments led to a position as commanding officer of the Operational Health Support Unit, the National Naval Medical Center, Bethesda, Maryland. This command had 800 members in 25 detachments in 9 different states. And I'm sure you traveled a lot tracking those units. In response to Hurricane Katrina, Hurricane Rita, and Wilma, Rear Admiral Gintzig was mobilized and served as Deputy Commander for Task Force Navy Family from October 2005 until April 2006. And I'm sure there's some interesting stories that came out of that experience. An interesting aspect of his assignments is that from October 2007 through 2008, he assumed the position of Vice Commander, Naval Reserve Forces Command, becoming the first staff officer to hold this position. I think that's very significant, and I'm sure it was meaningful to him as that opportunity presented itself. He currently serves as the Deputy Chief, the Bureau of Medicine and Surgery for Medical Operations and Future Plans. He is responsible to the Surgeon General of the Navy for policy and coordination of Navy medical healthcare facilities and operations worldwide. In fact, I hope he tells us about those, because those future plans and that responsibility is enormous. His personal decorations are multiple and include the Legion of Merit and 4 awards of the Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal. He has also had over 25 years of senior healthcare leadership experiences as a civilian. It is really, truly a pleasure to welcome Rear Admiral Donald Gintzig to your club and to our city. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Admiral Bryce. Can't tell you what an honor and privilege it is to be in Middle Tennessee, in Nashville. And I've been trying to tell Miss Kramer that the weather's like this all the time. San Diego, Nashville, just very similar weather. 70 degrees, very little humidity. That's perfect. It's Navy Week in Nashville. And so Navy Week is an outreach program where we take individuals from the Navy and we reach out to large, significant populations where there isn't a heavy Navy concentration. And so as Betty Lou said, you know, Tom's her one Navy friend. There aren't huge numbers of Navy that you know of, because we have a base out in Millington, and we have an operational support center for the reserve component and a few bits and pieces, but it's predominantly an Army town. So it's about reaching out and letting folks know about their Navy. And believe it or not, over 20,000 Tennesseans either have served or are currently serving in the Navy at this particular time. So they're out there. You got to find some more friends, man. Okay. Well, someone, Tom, will you help our outreach program for finding Betty Lou a Navy friend? All right. I'm here also to talk about Navy medicine. And so the Navy is a deployed force. So 70% of the world is covered in water. 80% of the world's population lives near the water. 90% of everything we buy and everything we sell worldwide travels aboard the waterways. And so we're America's deployed force out there making sure that commerce happens, that we can exercise and maintain peace and stability around the world, and that we can be ready if and when our nation needs us to act. And so every place the Navy goes, there's Navy medicine. Admiral Bress mentioned that the medical officer would come up and let him know what he made, and the fact that he was still breathing and talking, he was happy that the medical officer was there doing his thing, because that's what we're about. It's about keeping our forces ready to go, healthy, fit, able to act, and then being ready if and when the worst happens. There's an injury or we're at war, how we best respond.
We have a video.
We have a video. All right, not that Cass's wasn't lovely, but I'm required by SecNav instruction to show a video at every presentation or show an organizational chart. So I chose the video of the organizational chart. You should be very thankful.